Residential real estate in and around Salt Lake City. Fun timing for a market update. If you follow many people like me, agents and brokers, maybe loan officers, title people, whatever, people in the real estate business, you probably noticed that the messaging in the last, call it 2 weeks, was primarily or wholly around mortgage interest rates being way, way down, the direction we like, affordability being up. Hooray, right? Shout out from the rooftops. I will tell you that information is just a little bit out of date. I will also tell you that the conversations that I'm having recently, even predating the last couple of weeks, I'm just having deja vu to this time of the year in 2020. I know that might be a little counter to a lot of what you're hearing out there, but just sharing that specifically. Stock market in free fall. Seems like our money's on fire. Big rebounds going around in circles. Mortgage interest rates, big dive the direction that we like, coming right back up and giving back all of those gains and then some. Of course, mortgage applications being way, way up. A lot of that data does predate the last couple of weeks, which I would argue is a very, very good thing. And really just conversations about how the stock market, equities, and residential real estate are competing asset classes and do tend to have an inverse relationship with each other, which is kind of fun. And what tends to happen in recessions, I'm not saying a recession's coming, but what tends to happen in recessions to real estate pricing, and that does tend to be going up. So interesting conversations there. What is different between now and exactly 5 years ago is this time around, we know that and why demand is so pent up and probably about to explode. I mean, there's just so many of us that in the last coming up on several years have just been locked in on our mortgages and have been putting off our real estate goals. Like call it an upsize would be the most common one, just needing some more space for the family because, we've got that 2.5-3% interest rate, and selling to go buy at a, upper sixes, low sevens it just takes a lot of motivation. But we demand in the coming months, that pent up demand is very much there. It's very much a thing. I feel like I'm one of the few people that actually did sell my old place and buy a new one, which I'm very happy with in the last 6 months, which was kind of exciting. But buckle your seatbelt, folks. If mortgage rates go down under 6 or back to where it was in September in the low sixes, or even under 6.5, buckle your seatbelts with the demand that will just be unlocked, as seems to be what they quote in the paper. I'm not in love with that term, but we'll just use that term. On the supply side, so switching from demand to supply, we are seeing supply come up just a little bit. I have noticed in conversations in the last couple of months, the most common things I hear from people is, hey, Robert, seeing a lot of yard signs out there. Sure seems like a lot of homes are on the market. Basically, I might call that a supply side argument for the market slowing. And my response to that, without adding any opinion to it, is welcome to spring, my friends. Inventory does tend to come up from early spring through late fall, early winter. So we're going to see inventory levels come up as they have been for the last couple of months until probably late October, early November, probably what we're going to see there, which is a good thing. The last few years, we've just lamented the anemic inventory out there, and having inventory levels, how many homes are available, it's still on the low end historically, but by the standards of the last, call it half decade or so, less so the case. Plenty out there to choose from. So putting those two together, active marketplace. Absorption rates that are sub 3 months, very much tilted towards sellers. And I think it's going to be a very, very exciting time in the next few months. Not trying to be a market bull, but just looking at where we are. There's just not enough homes out there for everybody. And there are a heck of a lot of people out there that want to buy them. And I hesitate to believe that a lot of us that feel like, gosh, my retirement account is way, way down, or my brokerage account with stocks that I have absolutely no intention of selling anytime soon, just that number on a piece of paper being slightly lower is going to prevent savvy folks from making a move that they've probably put off for many, many years already. So should be an interesting market in the coming months. Very, very exciting time. Of course, if you are having any thoughts of selling and or buying, possibly both at the same time, I imagine you'd probably want to do that without moving twice, as a lot of folks like to do it. Would love to help you. Would love to sit down, have a confidential and non-obligatory strategy session, or if it's just basic conversations that help out, would love to answer your questions. Would love to help you. Do feel free to reach out anytime. Thanks so much.